ليذكروا اسم الله على ما رزقهم من بهيمة الأنعام وعلم التوحيد وأمر بالإسلام. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله الذي هدانا إلى دار السلام. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا صلى الله عليه وعلى آله أصحابه الذين قاموا بإقامة الأحكام وبذلوا أنفسهم وأموالهم في سبيل الله فيالهم من كرام وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. أما بعد فاعلموا أن يومكم هذا يوم عيد شرع لكم ما فيه مع أعمال أخر قد سبقت في الخطبة قبل هذا العشر ذبح الأضحية بالإخلاص وصدق النية. وبين نبيه وصفيه صلى الله عليه وسلم وجوبها وفضائلها ودون علماء أمته من سننه بالفقه مسائلها. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. فقد قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: ما عمل ابن آدم من عمل يوم النحر أحب إلى الله من إحراق الدم، وإنه ليأتي يوم القيامة بقرونها وأشعارها وأغلافها، وإن الدم ليقع من الله بمكان قبل أن يقع بالأرض فطيبوا بها نفسا. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. وقال أصحاب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: يا رسول الله، ما هذه الأضاحي؟ قال: سنة أبيكم إبراهيم عليه السلام. قالوا: فما لنا فيها يا رسول الله؟ قال: بكل شعرة حسنة. قالوا: فالصوف يا رسول الله؟ قال: بكل شعرة من الصوف حسنة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: من وجد ساعة لأن يضحي فلم يضحي فلا يحضر مصلانا. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. From the mercy and the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you and I have gathered here on the day of Eid al-Adha like we were gathered here a couple of months ago on the day of Eid al-Fitr. And we gathered here after days that were very noble. The month of Ramadan had blessed days. Not only the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan, but the entirety of that blessed month of Ramadan. And similarly, on the day of Eid al-Adha, we had blessed days that preceded this noble day. We had days of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We had days of seeking forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We had days of the sense of accomplishment. The believer enters onto the day of Eid with an immense sense of accomplishment, a sense of forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a sense of entering into the pleasure, the realm of rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so we gather here on the day of judgment after working hard the preceding days, seeking the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, capitalizing on the reward and the multitudes of reward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in these blessed days that preceded this day. So when a believer enters into the day of Eid, he or she comes to the prayer hall for offering the Eid Salah, and we sit in our rows, and we listen to the khutbah, and we offer our Salah, and we're attentive in this manner. We have this sense of accomplishment. We sit here and we've sought Allah's forgiveness. Right? We've sought Allah's pleasure. We've sought Allah's reward on this day. So when we come and we celebrate in our best clothing, with our loved ones, right? Enjoy the day of Eid, we do it because we have this sense of accomplishment from the days that preceded. And the day of Eid is essentially sort of a summary, a glimpse of our lives and how it should be lived. Right? How we prioritize certain things in the days preceding the day of Eid. In the month of Ramadan, we prioritize the fast. We prioritize the evening Tarawih prayer. We prioritize the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We prioritize dua to Allah. We prioritize the dhikr and the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the nawafil, and so on and so forth. And similarly, on the days of Hijjah, we prioritize certain things. Moreover, on the day of Arafah, we prioritize certain things. We all fasted, alhamdulillah, those that were able to. We sought forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where we sought mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we earned that reward, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. We capitalize on that day, right? It says that the day that precedes, or the days that precede the day of Adha, each day is equivalent to 10,000 days of worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a believer uses that opportunity so that on the day of Eid, we come to the Eid Salah with a sense of accomplishment. Similarly, there will be a day in the hereafter. There will be a day when nothing else will exist, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promises you that. A day that we acknowledge to be a fact, a reality. We believe that as part of our aqeedah, part of our theology, that we believe that there will be a day of resurrection. Similarly, as we are sitting in these rows and we are paying attention to the khutbah, we will stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being attentive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He will take our account. But what will happen is those believers that utilize their life appropriately, that they sought forgiveness of Allah, they prioritize appropriately, like you and I did in the last 10 days, they will come in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a sense of accomplishment. With this feeling that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in the hadith, that those that have lived their lives in a satisfactory manner to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be elated, they will be excited, they will be happy like you and I were happy to come to the Eid Salah. We will be in that similar state on the day of judgment from Allah. We're reuniting with our Rabb, with our Lord. Prophet says that on the day of Arafah, was the day that all the children of Ibn Adam, or all the children of Adam alayhi salam, they took an oath to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to uphold in terms of belief and action. And so we uphold our oath and we see the fulfillment of that oath on the day of judgment. So I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah brings us onto the day of judgment like He has gathered us excited on this day, well dressed on this day, beaming with a smiling face to come to a salat meet one another, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reunites us all with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His beloved Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on the day of judgment, in a similar state, in fact better than the state we are in today, right? Inwardly and outwardly. One thing we have to understand when it comes to the day of Eid and this celebration and these days that we just experienced, these days possess a lot of history. And there's an objective and a purpose. The greater purpose and objective I've mentioned is that we live this life of satisfaction to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the history behind these 10 days we all know is the beloved or beautiful story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, our father, the father of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Where a prophet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved dearly, to the extent where that display of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that display of servitude to Allah, the display of slavery to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the prophet and the believer wears as a badge of honor. If you look at public servants, right? A person that's a public servant in our community, right? A police officer, right? They wear that as a badge of honor. They wear the servants in this community. A believer wears that slavehood, that servitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, submission to Allah as a badge of honor to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so when Ibrahim alayhi salam displayed this high level of submission to Allah, leaving his loved ones in the middle of the desert, his wife and child, with no means around them, willingly sacrificing his son for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? With no hesitation. His son telling him, "Oh Father," his wife telling him, "Oh Ibrahim, if this is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we submit alongside with you." This display with this whole of submission by the whole family of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right? If they need me to leave, if you need me to, if Allah wants you to leave me in the middle of the desert, if Allah wants you to sacrifice me, then you'll find me amongst the Sabirin, amongst the nation. There's act and display of submission. Right? We acknowledge it. Now, how does one inculcate? How do we go about implementing the submission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? When we ask, what does Islam mean to be submission? Belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do we submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Right? There are 4 aspects. Right? Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah, he says that there are 3 aspects of implementation and there's 4 ways to go about it. He says, how do we submit? First within our hearts, then by our tongues, and lastly by our limbs, the external parts of our body. How do we go about it? First, he says the 4 steps. The implementation, the submission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, the first he calls the sayings of the heart. What the heart says, meaning what the heart believes firmly. Right? And Ibrahim alayhi salam's life displays that. When it wasn't convenient to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it wasn't convenient to have that strength of iman that he possessed, right? And everybody was in opposition to him, even to the extent of his own loved ones, his own father had opposed him. He believed firmly. And then what happens is that heart graduates into what he calls the second application of submission. He says it's the actions of the heart. What the heart does after it's submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it realizes by belief. We believe in Allah first, and then the action that emanates out of that heart is when Ibrahim alayhi salam is being thrown into a pit of fire. When he's asked to leave his beloved wife and his child in the desert. When he's asked to sacrifice his awaited child and beloved child, his heart's action was what? Trust in Allah. I rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The element of fire that has to naturally be hot can be tamed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and altered into something. The action that built off of that submission first and initially
of the heart was to turn towards Allah. Tawakkul, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When things go tough, we turn towards Allah. We submit to Allah, we trust it. The process doesn't have to be to my liking. Right? Ismail said when he sacrifices, oh Father, this is the will of Allah, and you find amongst the patient. Patience meaning he didn't like the fact that he was being sacrificed. He wasn't excited about it, but this was the will of Allah. Then he says, after that, the fourth implication or aspect of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is submission in regards to the tongue. Right? The tongue submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in speech and in silence. When Ibrahim alayhi salam was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will have opposition. Speak gently, speak softly. Continue to propagate, be steadfast. He spoke, he was gentle, he was steadfast. He was firm, he was steadfast. He utilized his tongue in the submission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in speech as well as in restraint. Speech as well as in silence. When he's asked to leave his beloved wife and his child, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh Ibrahim, you're not going to say that. Don't speak. His wife naturally, like any woman, any person, any human being would ask, are you leaving me? He signals to her in a manner without speech. Right? He submitted his tongue to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in speech and in restraint, and he held it back to where his wife understood, oh Ibrahim, is this the will of Allah? If this is the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I submit to it. So Ibrahim alayhi salam submits his tongue, this level of display of submission, right? This complete sense of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The third highlight list is tongue. And the fourth implementation of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with our limbs, in a physical sense. My hands do what Allah wants. My eyes do see what Allah wants me to see. My ears do what Allah wants me to hear. My feet walk towards what Allah likes. Right? And Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he's asked to lay his child down, when his child is asked to lay down, he submits. Their limbs submit. Right? When we're asked to pray salah, our limbs submit to every position of salah. Every time Allah asks us to raise our hand, we raise our hands. When it's asked to drop, we drop. When we're asked to recite, we recite. When we go to ruku, we ruku. And so the fourth aspect of implementing submission and taslim and servitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the physical sense. Right? So this life is a life of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we understand how we implement the submission of Allah. We've acknowledged it. As the Prophet ﷺ says, on the day of Arafah, the day that preceded, before we even came into this life and this existing, Allah's Messenger ﷺ said what? We took an oath to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We promised our allegiance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this life is for us to fulfill that obedience and submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next, like on this day of Eid that we've gathered happy to enjoy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fulfills His bargain of the deal. His end of the deal, where He says, come to me and enter into paradise. Like the Prophet ﷺ says, when you and I gather on the day of Eid, he boasts about his servants. He boasts about you and I. He says, oh my angels, look at my servants. Right? They might have faltered. They might have made mistakes. But look at my angels, they've come and sought my forgiveness. And look at them on the day of Eid, what happens when they sought my forgiveness? What do I do with them? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh my angels, bear witness that I've forgiven this day. Inshallah, right? So there's a sense of accomplishment, inshallah, for us on this day. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a sense of accomplishment in the hereafter, inshallah. Come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a sense of excitement, this enlightenment for him, this sense of happiness to meet our Creator, inshallah, in the hereafter, inshallah, and allow us to inculcate, understand this sense of complete submission that our Father Ibrahim alayhi salam did, inshallah, and submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all four capacities, inshallah, in this life, inshallah, so that we can gather in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like this in a sense of goodness, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair. Wa alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.